Hey YouTube, and welcome to another edition of the Nurse Lounge. In today's edition, we are going to talk about pre-nursing advisement. I was messaged on Instagram by a follower who had asked if I would share some tips regarding things that they should consider before starting nursing school. So I've come up with a list of a few things, I think 5 or 6 things that you should be mindful of when you are wanting to start nursing school and you are a pre-nursing student. So let's define pre-nursing student. Pre-nursing technically means that you are taking those prerequisite classes now with nursing as declared as your major. So that's technically what pre-nursing means. But if you want to think about those who are going to be future nurses, this could apply to you as well. So maybe you're still in high school about to graduate, or maybe you have just started college and you're not really declared pre-nursing yet, but that's where you want to go. This video is for you. So stay tuned. First thing you want to consider is picking your school. So you need to do some research. The research you need to do needs to be inclusive of the cost of the school, the program that you want to attend. So if you want to attend a LPN program, if you want to attend a 2-year RN program or a 4-year RN program, all those programs cost varying amounts of money. However, they're all very expensive comparatively to other traditional programs in a college or technical school setting. So be mindful of that. Be mindful that some programs actually require you to not work while you're in school, and some require you to sign contracts stating that you will either work less hours, that you won't work prior to a clinical day, or that you won't work at all while you're in nursing school. So you need to consider that when you consider the income that you have coming in, if it's none, who you can stay with, who your support system is, and who you have to support. So if you have children that have to be supported and you have to work, you may need to find a program that's going to better fit your needs. Something else to consider is the time commitment. And I kind of alluded to that when we talked about the LPN versus the 2-year versus the 4-year program. So how long will it take for me to get my certification or my degree? That's something you want to consider. Another one is GPA requirements. So every school has posted what their minimal GPA requirements are to get into the program. However, you have to consider that some programs are highly competitive. And the highly competitive programs will say that their GPA requirement may be a 3.0 as an example. However, their applicant pool may be everyone has a 3.5. So even though you may have a 3.1, for example, and everyone else has a 3.5 or above, and the program states on their website that they require a 3.0, you may not make the selection for that term because of the fact that everyone who applied with you have higher GPAs and they only have so many slots available for incoming students. So consider that as well. So you may want to apply to more than one program so that you can keep your options open as well. Back when I was in nursing school, which was in 2002, the GPA requirement for the school that I went to was a 2.8 GPA. I had a 3.0 GPA. Luckily, I guess, most of the students had around the same GPA that I had, and I was accepted. If I were to go to that same school now, all the students have a 3.7 GPA here lately that's been accepted. So therefore, based on those terms, I wouldn't have been accepted back then. So I'm very grateful that I was selected to be part of the 80 that was taken that year. And that's just kind of how that rolls sometimes. So I had applied to 2 other schools just in case. And I actually got accepted to all 3 schools. And then I had to narrow down based off of what they needed me to already have to which school I was going to go to. And I picked the school that best met my needs and my daughter's needs at the time. Okay, another tip is have a strong foundation in anatomy and physiology, in microbiology, and chemistry if it is required in your program. The A&P, or anatomy and physiology, is a no-brainer that you have to have that as a foundation to have an understanding of what nursing really is and be able to apply the nursing process or the disease processes to locations and body systems within the body, and you have to know where that is. It took me 3 times to be successful in that class. I had a D 2 times when I took that class because I, for whatever reason, could not get the concepts, or I was not committed, or I just had a lot going on. But I took that class 3 times, and I believe the third time I finally got it together and got a B in the class. And I truly understand in hindsight why I needed to get that B in the class, so that I could better understand even today what's going on when people tell me they're hurting in certain locations, so I can narrow down, okay, if you're hurting here, it's probably one of these 3 issues. Let's go ahead and rule those things out. It really helps you to have a good understanding when you know that. Another tip is make sure you're ready to commit to the program. So with that being said, a lot of us like to party and have a great time with our friends. However, you cannot do that while you're in nursing school. There's just not enough time. And you have to be committed. So you have to be set time aside to go ahead and study. You have to set time aside to prepare for exams. You may have group projects that you may have to do in your class. So you want to be prepared for that, and you want to be able to commit to that. And then, truth be told, think about it from this perspective. What if you had a nurse, so you're a patient, and you had a nurse who she just graduated, or he just graduated from school. They partied the entire time. They barely passed their tests, but they truly don't have an understanding of what nursing truly is, or what disease process truly is. And they go to actually take care of you and miss something major. Their missing something major will be detrimental to you, well, to them as well. If something detrimental happens to you, they could lose their license. So you want to be on your best game when it comes to being a nurse. Another example, think about a pilot. So it's not nursing related, but think about a pilot. He or she has to undergo hours and hours of simulation. What if he or she decided, you know what, I'm going to stay up all night long. I have a 6 a.m. flight. I'm going to stay up till about 4 o'clock in the morning and party. And then I'm going to fly this plane and fly us over the ocean to, say, London, and get us there safely off of 2 hours of sleep. Would you not want him or her to have had a fresh mind, to know exactly what they're doing, to know what they need to do if something goes wrong with the plane? Same concept with nursing. You want your nurse to know exactly what's going on to take care of you. The doctor's not the one who is taking care of you. He or she only comes in for like 15 minutes. It's the nurse who determines what's going on with the patient to say, okay, let me call this doctor and tell him or her we need to do X, Y, and Z to fix this patient's situation, because they're going down quick. And I can recognize that because I have a strong foundation in my sciences, and I paid attention in class, and I spent all my time partying. I'm not saying from time to time you shouldn't go out and have some fun with your friends, go to a movie, go to a play, go to some comedy. Those are great ways to de-stress and great ways for self-care. But what I am saying, it should not be an every weekend type of thing. Every time you look up, somebody said, let's go here, and you're running out. That's not how it should be. Another tip is make sure you're coming to nursing for all the right reasons. Most people come to nursing because they truly care about people and they want to help them, and they've had family members that they've had to help in the past, and they want them to be well cared for. So they saw how nurses engaged with their family, so they want to be that same someone to other patients. But some of the wrong reasons to come into nursing are for the money. Nurses make good money. However, they don't make, in my opinion, what they are worth, which that's probably true with most jobs. The work that nurses have to do and what they get paid do not correlate majority of the time. So be mindful of that. You're getting paid, yes. But with that being said, you're not getting paid what I feel that we are worth when it comes to the work we have to put in. Also know that you are going to work holidays, weekends, and night shift, and you're going to work past your shift. So even though you're working from 7 to 7, you may not leave the hospital till 7:30, 8 o'clock at night or in the morning because something happened during change of shift, or something happened when you finish your charting, or maybe you have to go talk to the manager about something. You may not get off when you think you're going to get off. You have to be flexible in that sense. So again, make sure you're coming to nursing for the right reasons. And there are other reasons too for sure come to nursing, but those are just a couple that I can think of that people tend to say, oh, it's flexible, or I can have all this money. It's more to it than that. Also, nursing school is only a foundation. Nursing requires lifelong learning. So what does that mean exactly? Lifelong learning means that even once you become a registered nurse, an LPN, even advanced practice as a NP, or anything you decide to do beyond the traditional nursing degree, it requires ongoing learning. So we have to go to conferences, we have to do CEUs, continuing education units, we have to attend in-services, we have to still do simulations in the hospital setting to make sure we still know how to do certain things we learned how to do back when we were in nursing school, to make sure things have not changed since, you know, so many years ago for a lot of nurses. Keep in mind, nurses typically stay in the profession 10, 20, 30, 40 years of their career. So can you imagine something that happened 40 years ago and we're still practicing today? Do you think they're still doing things the same way as we did, as they did 40 years prior? Not at all. Healthcare has changed since then. Nursing has changed since then. So therefore, your education has to change since then. You have to stay abreast on the latest tried and true practices and be evidence-based in your practice and in your care. So these were just a few tips of what you can consider and what you should plan for when it comes to being prepared to go into nursing school. If you have any other questions regarding what tips or suggestions, just something you want to know more specifically about, please leave a comment below and just kind of address what it is you want to know specifically about nursing school or about nursing in general, and I'd be happy to answer those questions. For now, I would like for you to subscribe if you're new. If you are not new, thank you for coming back. Also, hit that notification bell so that you will know when I upload. And until the next video, take care. Bye-bye.